What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Points in the Paint podcast, Stadium's #1 NBA podcast.
Yes, indeed.
I'm Ben Wittenstein.
You know who I am, Zach Badgerhouse. I am always in the house. Ben, how we doing?
We're doing well. We set up. We finally, we're moving and grooving. We're
it's a
trying
work
to
in
set up
progress.
Some of the cameras. Yeah, if you check us out on YouTube, we're going to be on YouTube, and you can see all of our new fancy gadgets, fancy cameras. We got multiple angles that we can use, which is kind of cool, kind of fun. But so we're working on it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And make sure wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you subscribe to Points in the Paint podcast.
Yep.
Wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, we're on YouTube. Watch Stadium's YouTube account. Make sure you check us out there. 773-273-9088. That is our
voicemail line
yes,
and text
sir.
line too.
Yes,
So we got text, we got voicemails. Whatever you're feeling. If you don't want to have your voice heard, you can have it heard via text, and we'll read it on the podcast. So very excited for that. And of course, leave us a rate and a review. But Zach, we do have some stuff to get to because some stuff has been happening since Monday all the way now until Thursday. We've had some game winners. We've had some teams become good, some teams remaining bad. The Cavs. We can talk about that. But we'll start with kind of a newer segment. We've had this segment in different forms, but it's what's trending. What's trending in the NBA so far for the past few days. And of course, we have to start with a game winner from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
For the win, Ben. And it was nice for him to go get that 40-piece wing dinner, hold the fries. Shout out to KP, Kendrick Perkins. He always talking about the wing dinner. Well, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he had a 40-piece wing dinner, hold the fries, with a game winner for the win, 121-120 this past week over the Washington Wizards. They've been playing very well on the road, Oklahoma City Thunder, Ben.
Yeah, and this was an impressive win because Washington's been playing well.
Yep.
And we talked about them playing well on this podcast on Monday. And so for OKC to go on the road, get the win, they're an impressive team. And I think we have to figure out when we start calling Oklahoma City Thunder a good team or a decent team. I'm not ready to say good. I think good's the wrong term, but decent to fun to scrappy to talented, I think is the right terms to use for this team because right now, if you look at the Western Conference standings, they are sitting 11th. They're 7-8. They've won 5 of their last 10.
Okay.
This is the team that is playing way better than expectations. And I'm saying that as someone who bet their win total over 23.5. They're already at 7.
So you feeling like, okay, we only not even a third through the season, and you feeling real confident about that Oklahoma City bet.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling real confident.
Well,
they're going to be pulling out wins against teams they probably have no business doing. And because they're young, they're going to lose games they have no business losing. So they're going to be a roller coaster ride, but I really do like the way the Thunder have been playing this season. They're playing like a team. You can see where the talent's coming from. And, oh, by the way, they don't have Chet Holmgren yet. We have to wait till next year for them to get a healthy Chet Holmgren. Who knows what he's going to bring to this team and how much better he's going to make them.
Yeah, I think so too. And SGA, the 40-piece, the smoothness to his game, being aggressive, going to the free throw line late in that game against the Wizards. Yeah. I was pleased, Ben. I really was. I was super pleased with the fact that he's playing well, right? He's playing really well. And so for me, he just got to continue. And one thing I want to mention, too, with Oklahoma City Thunder is the simple fact that, a lot of people don't expect them to win games. But for me, Ben, you look at that team, you look at that roster, you look at how those boys are playing, SGA, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort in the crew, Jalen Williams, the young rookie, the 12th overall pick.
Awesome. Yeah, he's been great.
He's playing very well. And so for me, Ben, I think that the group is just tired of losing. Like, they're tired of losing.
Too.
Like, they've been losing ever since Chris Paul, left a few seasons ago. And you look at it now, it's like, all right, we've been at the bottom of the West, or bottom of the NBA. We've been in the NBA draft lottery all these years in a row. It's time for a change. And I think SGA is leading that pack.
100%. And it's crazy that he's now really kind of that team veteran, that team leader after coming over from the Clippers. People didn't really know what to expect from him. And he's been the guy that I think the Thunder in general have expected him to be. I mean, he's the guy who can go out and get those game winners. He's the guy you can count on down the stretch, and he's the guy you can count on to be that, veteran presence on a very, very young team. And it's just great to see him winning. It's great to see him pushing through. And this is what you want to see from a young team. You don't want them to be losing every single game. I don't think the Thunder are really in a position where they need to tank at this point. They have so much young talent that they're playing with house money right now. They're winning games. they've been fun.
They have been fun.
They're super fun to watch. What else do we got? Oh yeah, so we talked about the Kings on Monday.
Let's stay in the West, yeah.
And I made the mistake about betting the Nets against the Kings a couple days ago. They were slight underdogs. You give them a plus money. I thought, Nets are gonna come in. Durant's gonna do his thing. The Nets have been looking pretty good recently.
Right.
But man, it's Kingstown. Sacramento is back.
Light the beam. I don't know if you watched the. I don't know if you watched the games or not, Ben, but you light the beam whenever they win. Listen, we might.
I don't understand.
The Sacramento Kings make an opportunity to see the beam light up in Sacramento for about at least 20 more games. They got at least 20 more wins in them so far this season. That's how I feel.
They're 8th in the West. Their playoff team started today.
It started today. Well, they'll be in the play-in at least.
Yes, they
definitely be in the play-in. But kudos to them, right? They won 4 in a row. The last game was on national TV. That's what I really wanted to emphasize, the fact that they came out there on national TV, TNT game being, and they went and blew the doors off. The Brooklyn Nets blew the doors off.
Embarrassed them.
Scored like over 150 points in the game. This was a Brooklyn Nets team that was coming in playing very good defensively. The last 5 games, we had mentioned it before on the previous podcast about the simple fact that they were number 1 or number 2 the last 5 games in terms of defensive rating, and they couldn't guard a parked car against the Sacramento Kings. The Brooklyn Nets.
They couldn't, and we were just talking about that, the defense and what Jack Brown brings, and then they go out and put up a stinker against the Kings. I'm glad we talked about how good the Kings were, because we would have looked really dumb if
going into that game. So now we're just doubling up.
Yeah, so it's all right. We were right about one team at least going into this week.
That's fine.
So I'm really glad the Kings are playing well. They're a fun team. They've got a lot of good pieces together too.
They do. Sabonis. They got your boy Sabonis from Indiana. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Harrison Barnes, a vet. Like he's capable of putting the ball in the rim whenever. He was definitely scoring on Kevin Durant at times. In that game, just to throw that out there. No shade at KD because we know he unguardable, but Harrison Barnes was definitely getting some baskets.
Yeah, and the West is open for the most part.
Yeah,
the Kings are 2.5 games behind the Trailblazers in first. 2.5 games behind first. I know it's early.
It is early.
They're 2.5 games out of first.
Like the beam
West.
in Sacramento. Like the beam.
They're fun. The Kings are a fun team, and I think they're worth definitely watching. If you're going to stay up late, drink some caffeine, watch them one of these weeks, and stay up late.
Hey, if you're in the Central Time, it don't even hurt you. 9 o'clock, you decent.
Best time out there.
Yep. Eastern is where it get a little rough for y'all.
That's
I ain't in the Eastern Time zone no more, so I'm feeling good.
Let's see what else is trending going on in the NBA. Jalen Brunson.
Worth every penny, Ben. I don't know how you feel about Jalen Brunson. Remember, I'm one of those guys who, if you don't at least average 20 points or do something significant, Ben, you can't get $100 million out of me. Like, there's no way. If I'm a GM, you got to at least average 20 or do something that's very well. Shoot the 3-ball, 3-point specialist, defensive player of the year candidate. It got to be something in your game that constitutes for you to get $20 million. So I wasn't too sure if Jalen Brunson was worth $100 million. I'm definitely on board.
Okay.
Definitely on board with Buddy because he's playing well. Yeah, he's definitely playing well.
I mean, he's helping the Knicks, that's for sure. And then, the Knicks aren't playing as well. They're not going to be 8-7. I don't think they're above 500 if they don't have Jalen Brunson at this point. And he helps them beat the Nuggets on Wednesday night. And he's just such a consistent presence. I think is the right term for Jalen. You know what you're going to get out of him. You know what he's going to bring. And he's going to help your team in different ways other than scoring at times. So
7 assists.
$20 million, you could argue in a vacuum is probably too much money, but then you kind of see the intangibles and what he brings and how he elevates the team as is right now that kind of needed an older leader to help them out, some of the younger guys.
A little spark,
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really the perfect fit for a Knicks team.
21 points a game, 7 assists, about a steal and a half over the course of the last 3 or 4 games for Jalen Brunson. Like I said, I think he's worth every penny being. Like, he's playing well. Win or lose, win or lose for the New York Knicks, you go look at the box score, you can always say so far this year, okay, Jalen Brunson did his job, what he was supposed to do. Now, I know he got benched for not playing the standard of defense by Tom Thibodeau, and we had to throw him, Tom Tibb, in the prison cell on the previous podcast.
We did.
But I think Brunson has done an overall good job for that team, at least from an offensive standpoint. So it's offensive league, Tibbs. I think Tibbs just need to catch up, Ben.
Yeah, he's. I have nothing to say about Tom Thibodeau at this point. Nothing good, at least. New segment that we've got.
Yes.
3 on 3.
Yeah.
So this is your thing right now for this week. You created a top 3 list and a bottom 3 list.
Bottom 3 list
regarding something related to, of course, the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the list here?
So my question to you, Ben, is who are your top 3 players through these 15, 20 games we've had this year? You give me 3 guys that you've been watching this season that's been super remarkable. Who would they be, buddy? Putting you on the spot like that.
Yep. Well, I mean, I think one of those guys for sure is Anthony Simons.
Okay.
I think he's been tremendous, and I've been watching a little bit more of him. 3-point shooting has been better than I expected.
Okay.
He chucks up a lot of shots, double-digit 3-point attempts a game for the most part, but he's hitting a decent percentage. He's shooting 37% this season from 3, and he'll make some really good shots. So I've been really impressed with him this far.
All right. Give me 2 more.
See, this is because there's so many different players to choose from.
Right. No, it is.
And, I kind of wanted to go to, like, the Magic because I've been watching, for some reason, a lot of, like, Jalen Suggs play, and I watched him to begin the season.
Okay.
He's been fun to watch, but my problem with him is I think he can be a really good 3-point shooter. I think he can be a really good 3-point shooter. He just needs to be consistent with it, more consistent with it. He's shooting 30% from 3 right now for the season, which isn't great, but he's not afraid to take 3-point shots, and he can be scary good from, like, Damian Lillard range good. I've seen him shoot.
All right.
So I don't know if Jalen's like the most impressive player that I've seen, but I think he's got a really high ceiling for what he can do.
All right.
With the Magic.
How you feel about Bobo since we're talking about Orlando?
Yeah, Bobo's fine. He's fine. Yeah, BB.
Just fine?
He's fine. He's good. Like, he's fun to watch.
26 and 12 last game, just fine.
How sustainable is it,
I'll be trying to listen. Maybe I just need to get everybody on board being with the Bobo bandwagon because I'm just Team Bobo over here. It's just Team Bobo for me.
Bobo.
He going out there, he getting over 10 boards every once in a while. He gonna put the ball in the basket. I told you this before. Everybody's all hype for Victor Wembanyama.
They are,
which is fair.
Yeah,
but I just keep telling people, I just feel like it's already a Victor Wembanyama in the league already in Bobo. Nah, people be like, you jumping the gun, you going too far. But then he go out there and drop 26 and 12. Then what you gonna tell me?
Interesting. I like to see him sustain it throughout the season.
All right.
I really would. I mean, it's been fun to really watch him and to see what he's been doing, but I need to see some sustainability here.
That's
Bobo.
fair.
And then the other player, it's funny because we're going to talk about the Pacers in a second, and there's 2 players on there that I really like, but I'll name Benedict Mathurin.
Nice.
Mathurin, he's been incredibly impressive. Coming off the bench for this team, and he scored 20-plus points. He's shooting really well. He's shooting, 40-something% from 3. Like, he's been a really fun player to watch for me, and I think he's been a very big surprise, not only the Pacers, but just NBA fans in general, kind of expecting, you don't know what to expect from rookies like that, but he's been great. He's been fun, man. He's been really fun and a huge asset for the Pacers right now.
Yeah, for the most part, right? I like the fact that his minutes are staggered and he's able to just get that production in that same amount of minutes because he's getting like 20 points a game in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it's remarkable. I like it for sure.
His efficiency is unbelievably impressive. I'm trying to look it up. Yeah, it's 18.45 is PER. So, like, he's more than the average efficiency rate in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
And he's 20 years old.
Okay.
20 years old.
Okay, so we got Suggs. We got Mathurin.
Yeah.
Now, if we had to pick one more player, because you done named some young guys.
I did name some young guys.
You got one more for me?
I mean, I'm always, Giannis has always been super impressive. I think that's just kind of a cop-out because it's
okay. That's fair. I like the 2 that you gave us.
And
though.
I think the fact that it's a cop-out kind of just shows how good Giannis is because you almost expect him to be this good every single season, but he's just so consistent with it. He's almost even better than he has been in the past season. I mean, the guy's just unbelievable. He's unguardable. You can't guard him close to the basket. You can't really guard him away from the basket because he'll take you to the rim. He's just been
working that midi.
Consistently good. He's been unbelievable for the Milwaukee Bucks. He's just fun to watch, man. And I was thinking about putting him on, but I'm like, that's
fair though. It's a cop out, but it's fair though.
Good.
Yeah, but that's fair though. You know what I'm saying? You put the boy Giannis up there, Greek freak. He go out there, he get buckets. He get to 27 and 12 and 5 assists and like 2 blocks. So yeah, you can throw him out there. Ain't nobody mad. Ain't nobody gonna be mad at that. Already gave us. Think about it. You gave us Suggs. And ain't nobody really, what I'm saying? Ain't nobody checking for Suggs like that. So people did. So the fact that you throw him out there, people had that opportunity to go check out his game. He did ball out in that last game in Orlando. They lost the game, but he did. Jalen Suggs did play well.
Crazy shot like 11 threes, 12 threes, something like that. I mean, he loves chucking them up. He can be a really good 3-point shooter. He just needs to be more consistent with it. But Giannis is always going to be. I mean, for the next 3-4 years, he'll probably be this good. To be quite honest, He's just so fun to watch, man. He's the best.
That's
He's
fair.
the best. I love Giannis.
I ain't got no
Off the court and on.
I ain't got no worries. Ain't got no problems with pro Giannis or anything positive about my man Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'll make sure I say that last name for everybody too.
You gotta put respect on him, man.
Yeah, you feel me? So I guess for me, my 3-on-3.
Okay.
So like my bottom 3 would be like the 3 teams that I really feel like are gonna fizzle out the standings, because right now they're at the top cream of the crap right now. It's early in the season, 15, 20 games being, but I think the 3 teams, one of them at least, that are going to fizzle out and maybe not be at the top of the standings, but somewhere in the middle, maybe escape the play-in scenario.
Oh boy.
Is the Portland Trailblazers.
Oh boy.
So currently, right now they're at the top of the standings in the Western Conference.
They are.
They're doing their thing. But I think they'll fizzle out once, more teams get a little more comfortable. Once the Warriors figure out whatever it is that they need to figure out, because they can't win on the road right now. They're currently 0-8.
0-8.
It's ridiculous.
That's
It
insane
is.
on the road.
It is.
That's a crazy number.
So I'm expecting them to somehow, some way figure it out and climb the standings as well. I think the Lakers may figure it out once they maybe trade Westbrook. I don't know if they're going to do so, but if the money's there with another team that can match it in terms of getting more pieces, more talent around LeBron and Anthony Davis, then go ahead and do so at this point.
Sure.
And then the second team that I'm looking at closely is the Washington Wizards, man. We talked about them earlier this week.
Interesting.
Because I just feel like they're going to hurt us again. They're going to let us down like they did last year, man. I do. Like, they might do it. They might let us down again. They did last year.
What do you think Bradley Beal coming back is going to be better for them? They're going to be better? They're going to play the same? Can they play even better than they have been recently? Is it going to hurt anything?
I hope so, right? Ain't that what Kodak said? I hope so.
Yeah, the thing is they would have been on a 5-game win streak if they didn't lose on a buzzer beater to the Thunder, which, again, losing to the Thunder is not as bad of a mark as I think it would have been like 2 weeks ago, or even at the beginning of the season. If you're like, the Wizards are going to lose to the Thunder in November, you would say, oh, the Wizards are not like, that doesn't sound good. But that's a better loss than I think it would have been a couple weeks ago. But again, they could have been on a 5-game win streak. They have a unique schedule. They play the Heat 3 of the next 4 games.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
It's like a playoff series.
Yeah,
like, why are they playing them so many times
they
at a staggered amount of time?
It's weird. They play the Heat at home, then they play the Hornets, then they go to Miami, play the Heat, and then they stay in Miami, play the Heat again 2 days later. So they're getting a lot of Miami Heat for the next couple of days, for the next week or so. So they could, go 3-1, maybe. They beat the Heat at home, beat the Hornets at home. They could steal one from the Heat on the road.
They can possibly
3-1 in the next 4 games.
That sounds serviceable. That sounds doable because LaMelo Ball, he's out with injury. He stepped on a fan's foot or something at the end of the game, bro. I was kind of mad because he had 26 points in the game, and then I think it was only a minute and 30 seconds left.
Yeah,
and he just stepped on a fan's foot and tweaked his ankle, so he's probably going to be out for a more extended period of time, which brings the question, will the Hornets tank for Victor Wembanyama? That definitely proposed that question.
They might.
They might have
Hornets
to.
are kind of a mess too, but I mean, they have been without LaMelo for a bit, so it's hard to start the season 4-12 and then make a run where you can possibly get into the playoffs, or at least feel good about a team that's in the playoffs. They could maybe make a mistake run and not make the lottery next season, but at this point, if you're 4-12, you're 1-6 at home.
It's been a tough stretch.
9 in your last 10 games
to open the season.
Hornets might want to tank.
It's been a little problem out there in Charlotte. But another team, Atlanta Hawks, being
okay.
Now, how do you think? You think I'm going too far with that? Because a lot of people, when I was talking to about the Atlanta Hawks, they felt like, well, you got to kind of give them a little more chance because I think they'll still be around the pack, the middle of the pack.
They're a weird team.
Okay.
They're a weird team because I think they are built well enough that they're going to make they should make the playoffs. They're going to be a playoff team, but I don't think they're built well enough to hold on to the 3 seed in the East.
Okay.
I think they are built to hover around the 6 through 8 spot, maybe the 9 or 10 spot, maybe be like a fringe play-in team. But
okay. Well, I had them preseason play-in, but
yeah, they have the talent to be a playoff team, and they have the talent to be a 7 seed or a 6 seed and miss the play-in game.
Okay.
But you're going to have everything go the right way for them, I think, for that to happen. And I don't know if that's going to happen throughout an NBA season. So I think, realistically, playing games, I think the right move, maybe the 7 or 8 seed as a play-in team. So I don't think you're wrong in that prediction, and I think looking as a team that I don't expect to continue their run as the 3 seed in the East right now,
Right.
I think that's the right move. They're 5-5 in their last 10. It's up and down for them. It really is.
Who's going to have a better record by the end of the month? I'll throw you on the spot. Hawks or Cavs? Who has a better record by the end of the month?
Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, put you on the spot like that.
See, for me, I want to say Cavs because I want to say they've lost 5 in a row,
They
right?
have.
So they are bottom of the barrel here. They're not doing
Struggling.
anything right. So something's got to change. And usually within the course of an NBA season, teams figure it out. The Cavs are too good to not figure something out.
Right.
And again, I'd have to look at their schedule, but I would say just off the top of my head, probably the Cavs. Cavs play the Hawks on November 21st on Monday.
Okay.
But for the rest of November, I mean, it's not the easiest schedule. However, they're at home for most of it. They're at home for the next 4 games in a row. And then they play the Bucks on the road. They play the Pistons on the road. They should win that game.
Yep, they should.
And then they play the Raptors on the road. So, if I'm looking at both teams, I'd probably say Cavs. I probably would because they're too good to just keep losing and losing and losing. They have to figure something out, and they have a lot of games at home coming up.
Okay, they do have a lot of games coming up, but I want to look on the flip side and look at Atlanta and see what they got going in terms of schedule because
Rockets.
they got Rockets,
Magic.
They got Sacramento.
Oh, whoa, Sacramento.
Well, yeah,
Sacramento's
light the
good though.
beam. My fault. Yeah, my fault. Light the beam. I forgot.
That's not a bad game.
That's not a bad game.
Not at home.
So they do got Toronto.
Yep.
Twice
Yep.
before the end of the month. So they have them at home and they have them on the road. They do have Orlando to close the month. So I think Atlanta may have the more favorable schedule.
It's possible.
I mean, they do have Miami in there, but they've been struggling. They got Joel. I think Joel likes to eat against Atlanta. I feel like he's played well against them in the past. They just coming off losing to Boston. So
there are 2 teams who I think don't really have a shot at like making any big impact like finals wise, but
okay.
They can definitely make some noise for the regular season. So they're both, I think, on a similar
path.
trajectory. They both have the talent, but do they going to have the execution in reality to be able to make that happen? And the Hawks have always been that team for the past couple of years.
Yep.
They have the talent. Like this is a good team on paper, and then they don't do anything. So,
Cleveland surprises last season with what
and
they're able to bring
I
out.
hope Cleveland doesn't end up being that team where you look up and down the roster and you're like, holy hell, this team has all the talent in the world.
It just
and then
won't
they go
come
on the
together.
court and nothing happens. They don't
Yeah.
click. Defense is bad. They turn it over a lot. I just hope that doesn't happen with Cleveland because I love everyone on that Cleveland team. Weekend Warriors, another news segment.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking at teams or players that are going to thrive heading into the weekend.
Going into the weekend.
Shout out Nate Jacobson for the Weekend Warriors. He did the Weekend Warriors betting show a couple years ago. So it's not a stealing of the name; it's a borrowing.
Yeah, we're borrowing.
Yeah, thank you, Nate. So we've got. I put a team on here. You have a player.
Yes, a matchup, if you will.
I put the Pacers.
I like this too. I told you I like
Pacers.
this. Yeah, I like this.
I think they're going to have a hell of a weekend going into this weekend. They're already riding a 2-game winning streak. Then now they're playing the Rockets coming up on Friday, and then their weekend consists of a Saturday game against the Magic. We're going to be on a back-to-back. Then they have to play the Magic again on Monday. Both home games. So they go on the road and play a tanking Rockets team. Then they play the Magic twice, both at home. They should be on a 3-game win streak after Monday.
So what, 4 games above 500?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is insane.
It is
right?
insane.
You look at the standings, and if they're going to win their next 4 games in a row, they're going to be 11-6. Could be top 5 team in the East.
Well, right now they got to win a record for the first time since February 2021, like I mentioned before the show. Yeah, it is crazy. I'm really a big fan of Tyrese Halliburton. So if there's something that I could take away from your weekend warrior is that I'm hoping Tyrese Halliburton continues the double doubles, the assists with the attacking the rim, going to the basket, dishing them dimes off. Bro, he's getting. People thought I was crazy when I told them to take it was 9.5 assists, it was plus money. People looking at me crazy like, come on now. I'm all about the plus money with the single bet. It's the only way it's gonna happen, if it's plus money.
Right.
And people looking at me crazy like, I don't know if he's gonna do it. Now I'm like, listen, he's gonna get the 9.5 easily because that's what he does.
He dishes it out.
He finishes with 13 assists. I
Yeah.
love Tyrese Halliburton. He be sharing the sugar, dishing it out, man.
It's
Everybody
awesome.
eats with Tyrese Halliburton on the court.
Yeah, they do, and he just makes that whole team better. And Orlando 0-6 on the road this season. They haven't won a game on the road. They play the Pacers twice on the road this weekend. So I think the Pacers end this weekend into Monday. By Tuesday, they're going to be on a 3-game win streak. They should be on a 3-game win streak. Who's your
Ooh-wee.
weekend warrior?
My weekend warrior is
This
the
guy is a
matchup.
warrior.
the big guys.
Yeah.
It's going down. It's the rematch because I feel like Joel Embiid is going to want his get back from the game before this season, and that's going to be Joel Embiid versus Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak. Yeah. Now we all know Giannis has what? Not one, but
that dog in him.
2 MVPs.
Oh, okay.
He got that dog in him for sure. Definitely got that dog in him. He's a Finals MVP, back-to-back regular season MVP. And so the question is, what are you going to bring, Joel? I think Joel's going to try to shine bright in this matchup. You know, he didn't win MVP last season. There's not going to be any James Harden. He's been out a month. I think he's going to shine bright. I don't know if they get the win, but he's coming off performance where he dropped like 59, Ben.
Is he going to do another 50 burger?
I don't know if he can get 50 against my boy,
double
Giannis.
Burger, double cheeseburger?
He could probably get 25. He can get a 25-piece wing dinner, hold the fries. That's about it. If he gets high, if he gets 25 plus, then he's really out on a mission. Yeah. I'll give you that. He's out on a mission.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's that'll be fun. That'll be a fun matchup. So we got Joel, we got the Pacers. Good weekend Warriors, I think. Good teams to bet on, good teams to watch, fun teams to watch.
Yeah.
On the hotline again, 273.
We just got one this week,
773-273-9088. Give us a text, give us a call, give us a voicemail. We're on Facebook as well, on YouTube, Stadium YouTube, so that's fun. What did Alex from Ann Arbor have to say?
I didn't want to put it in because I wanted to just flat out tell you because this is going to be your time to vent and have your little soliloquy moment as it relates to the Chicago Bulls. Because Alex from Ann Arbor wanted to know what is going on with the Chicago Bulls.
That's a great question, Alex.
And
I'm asking the same thing.
The floor is all yours. The floor is yours.
I'm asking the same thing. What's going on with the Bulls? I don't know. I feel like Jerry Seinfeld. What's going on with the Chicago Bulls? I think they are they're just not a good team. They're not built well, I think is the real issue with the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
The big three of Lonzo, well, it's a big four, I guess, but Lonzo's been out. But you have Zach, you have DeMar, and you have Vooch. It's a good big three. Good big three. Great big three on paper. In execution, I don't know if it's all there. You don't have any defense between the three of them.
Okay.
Offensively, sometimes they're pretty inconsistent. Zach can be inconsistent. Vooch can be inconsistent. DeMar hasn't been his old DeMar self that we saw last season. The MVP candidate, DeMar DeRozan. They have no defensive ability. Alex Caruso's like the only good defender that they have in that team when Lonzo
What about the junkyard dog? Javante Green?
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. He brings a lot of heart, hustle, and muscle.
He definitely
got
do
that
all
dog
that.
in him. I mean, that guy's definition of that. And I really like it, but I just don't think the Bulls have the personnel. They have no three-point shooting, let alone really any good defenders. So they can't three-point shoot their way into a win.
All right.
And they found that in their last couple of games when they got into some three-point shooting issues. They couldn't come back because they couldn't hit the three, and they can't come back that way. You can't really play basketball in the modern NBA if you're not going to be able to shoot threes. And the Bulls cannot shoot threes. They have no three-point shooters consistently. Kobe White's hurt, who is the closest thing they have to a three-point shooter. So there's roster issues everywhere. There really is. I don't think they make adjustments really well. There's some Bulls fans starting to get on Billy Donovan's case.
Ooh.
I'm
How do you feel about that? Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm leaning toward it. I'm not super happy with him, but he was given and it has been given a roster that is not built for the modern NBA. And I think that's an issue. And I think they're going to have to do something roster-wise. They don't have any picks. They really mortgage their future getting some of these guys, and they gave Zach LaVine the bag, which I think is still an okay move. I'm not upset with that move. But there's issues. Three-point shooting, defense, consistency, turnovers, and some coaching. There's issues in there. There's some issues in there that I don't love. Definitely some issues. So what's going on in Chicago? Way too much. That's a problem. There's way too many issues going on in Chicago.
Are we to the point where the whole room's on fire and we're just grabbing a cup of coffee like it's fine, like the meme? Or are we?
I don't think it's that yet. I don't think it's that. I think we're smelling smoke.
Okay.
We're smelling smoke somewhere.
All right.
And
you just got to find it.
It's like you're asking people, is that smoke?
It's that smoke you smell? You smell smoke?
Yeah.
You smell gas?
Yeah, it's one of those things. So we're at that point. We're not at, this, house is on fire. I'm not going to be able to leave. So might as well have a cup of coffee and say, this is fine. We're not there yet, but we're smelling some smoke.
1 through 10. Panic button. Where we at?
10 being the most panicked? I'm getting to 6 or 7.
It's okay.
I'm getting to 7.
I felt like you was gonna say 7. I'd have been cool with 6 or 7.
Yeah,
so
I'm
great minds
7.
think alike. I like where your head is.
I'll say 7.
Because for me,
it's early though.
Yeah, it is early.
I want to see what this team looks like with Lonzo.
And that's my biggest issue is why I didn't. That's why I didn't have a dog in this fight. Alex from Ann Arbor. Shout out to Alex from Ann Arbor for asking about the Bulls, but I just don't think it's too early to tell with the Chicago Bulls because they don't have their full roster. They don't have their guy.
Yeah.
That like Lonzo is a pretty good defensive perimeter player and a guy who can catch and shoot the 3 ball because we've seen him improve from year 1 in LA to now with the Chicago Bulls. When he was with the Bulls up until December last year, I felt like he shot the ball pretty well from 3 for the most part, especially catch and shoot. And with him and Caruso defending in your backcourt, really I think that would help too. And
you get Kobe back for some threes. I see a path to being good.
Yeah, there's a path, you know.
Is this team making the NBA Finals? No. They're not making the NBA Finals this year. They're going to have to make some big free agent signings, maybe some trades by the trade deadline. Just get some three-point shooters, my God. Get some three-point shooters.
That's what you want.
Of God. It's 2022, the year of our Lord.
Basically, what he's saying is give him a phone call. Yes. Being is saying give him a phone call. He's ready to knock down some threes.
I'll do it better than Vucevic. That's fine.
You think so?
No, but I think they need someone who can. That was a problem.
So, okay, is there anybody out there you think they could go after? Real quick.
I hate to say this.
I'm
really upset that this is recording because I'm about to say this. But apparently, the word on the street is Milwaukee Bucks are looking to move Grayson Allen. So who's decent at shooting threes? Grayson Allen. So is there a possibility there? I don't know. I hate to say it. I really hate saying that.
I am dying right now. I'm just sure that like you would have to really buy into the idea of tripping Grayson Allen, broken elbow Alex Caruso. Like his resume in the NBA is just all bad. And college resume is just. He's a good player, but in your mind,
I hate it. And he's been hurt in and out this season. He's been shooting pretty well from 3 though, 42% from 3 in 8 games.
Can you bypass the
last 10 played?
Can you bypass the Caruso injury for some 3-point shooting?
I don't know. How bad of a person am I? How bad of a person am I, Zach? I don't know. He shot 41% last season, 42% this season. I would absolutely hate it.
You might have to make that phone call.
Sometimes you got to go to the dark side to get things done. Sometimes.
And on that note, that's going to conclude this edition of Points to the Paint podcast, presented by Stadium. I'm Zach Badgerhouse. That was my main man, Ben Wittgenstein. You can follow us on social media at our respective handles, of course. Make sure you follow and subscribe to the Points to the Paint podcast at Points Paint on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. And make sure you subscribe and watch these lovely faces on the Watch Stadium YouTube channel because that's where this will be posted. And remember, 773-273-9088 for that voicemail line. You see Alex from Ann Arbor was able to get his answer about the Chicago Bulls from the great man Ben Wittgenstein here. So all you have to do is chime in either on Facebook, on Twitter, even that 773-273-9088. You can leave us a text or a phone number, and you will hear from us next week. Enjoy your weekend.